Alright guys, so I'm going to build a sleigh today out of this stuff. I was going to build it out of pallet wood, but the company I go to get pallet wood, somebody had already stole the pallets from me. So I went through my stock here, and I come up with 1x6x8. I have like a 1x2 here that was ripped earlier, and I got a 1/2 inch plywood here. I went and bought me some hemp rope from Menards, okay? And I bought this stuff from Menards too. So let's get started. We're going to start with the skids for the sleigh. And I'm going to start drawing it out on this piece right here. Alright, so I'm going to want my sleigh to be 36 inches long. So what I'm going to do to start out with, I'm going to cut this 1x6 to 40 inches. And then we're going to lay the sleigh out from there. Okay, we got 40 inches. Let's take it over here and just cut it on the saw real quick. Yeah, I got a little mess going on here today. Alright, here we go. There's our 40 inches. Let's take it over to the bench and lay it out. Okay, I got a quart can here because I want my sleigh rail to have a curve on the front. So I'm just going to use this quart can on my 1x6. Trace that out. I'm going to go about 180 degrees, which is top to bottom, and you can see that right there. Okay, see that? Now I'm going to come up about, I'm going to say 1.25 inches is going to be my rail height, all the way down for 36 inches. So I'm going to draw a straight edge line here, and then I'm going to figure out my loop here. I want to keep it about 1.5 inches. Okay, now if you can see this, I took my line, 1.25 inches. I used a straight edge and I went all the way down with it, 36 to 36 inches. And now I'm going to take my can. I'm going to go up to this mark here, which is 1.25 inches from that radius to that line. Okay, you see that? Right there is 1.25 inches. I'm going to put my can there, and I'm going to line it up with my traced out mark there. I'm going to go just like that. And there, I kind of have my radius I'm going to want. Now you can take it, maybe just blend it in a little bit like that. Okay, you seeing that? Okay, and then I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw, and I'm going to cut this out. And now this is so wide that I can get my other sleigh on this side of the board. The other sleigh rail, okay? Okay, with the first one being cut out and done, we're just going to lay that right on top of the other half of that board, same board, and we're going to trace this out. Just like that. Now I'm going to go over, cut this out on the bandsaw, and you can use a saber saw to cut this out too. You don't have to have a fancy bandsaw, okay? So use your saber saw if you have to. Okay, out of that 1x6, you can see what we have left so far. We got both of these made up. Now this one here, I think is going to be my steering thing that you put the ropes on, you know. So that'll work. And we still got this piece left over for other stuff. So you can see I got both rails cut out now, okay. Now I think I'm going to slope these down on the back here a little bit. I'm just going to freehand that, okay. Just down like that. That's it. Okay, I'm going to go cut that on the bandsaw or saber saw if you have one. And then I'm going to put it on top, duplicate it, and do the same thing. Okay, now we're going to take these to the belt sander, and you can use a hand sander too, which I will be using on this anyway a little bit. But take the belt sander, and I'm going to use this radius here to clean these up, and then I'm going to run it all the way down here just to clean that up. I'm going to take my palm sander and just rough these up a little bit, okay? Alright guys, I sanded on these for about 15 minutes with the hand sander. I got 120 on here with the hand sander. And I softened up all the edges, just a little bit of round over. Soften these points up a little bit here so they're not so sharp on each end. That's about it for this. These runners are about done now, as you can see. And now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put my cross parts here. And then we're going to start doing this part. So it's all coming together. It's going quick, guys. Okay, I got this spaced at 14 inches wide. I think that's going to be a good width for it. I got this 1x2 sitting here that I showed you earlier. I think I'm going to rip that on the table saw down to 1.25 inch strips. Just 2 of them, 14 inches long. And that will be my runners going this way so I can set my sled top on top of it. Okay, so I'm going to set the table saw up at 1.25 inches, and I'll be back in a minute. Before I go ahead and rip this at 1.25 inches, I'm going to cut it 28 inches long, and that way I'll have this left over for some other project. Okay, I got this cut off at 28. I'm just going to mark it at 14 inches now, okay? And then I'm going to take it over to the radial arm saw. I'm going to cut it at 14. I'm going to sand it real good like I did the other pieces with the 120. And I'll get back with you. Okay guys, these are all sanded. I just softened up the edges and everything with the 120 paper, the ends, just to refresh. They're 14 inches long, okay, a little under, but that's all right. And they are 1.25 inches wide, okay? All right, let's head over to the assembly bench and get putting it together a little bit. Okay guys, I got it set up here. We are 14 inches wide here, okay? I put a square here on my bench. I think you can see that. And I measured up 7 inches on each side for this piece, okay? And then I measured 24 inches from the square up to here, okay? Then I marked each side of my board. I don't think you can see it, but there's a mark here and here because that's where I want to put my glue. All right, I'm going to put my glue there and there. Now I'm going to nail it down. I got my brad nailer here, and I have 1.25 inch brads in it. Now you can use finish nails. I think they're number 4. That would work. All right, I'm putting my tight bond on right here. You can use any kind of wood glue. It just so happens this is what I always use, okay? All right, just put it on there. Line up your one edge. Set it down between the lines on each side, here and here. And remember, you don't have to be real fussy with this, okay? This is an outdoor sled or indoor sled or wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put 2 brads on each side. All right, just like that. Let's head over here. Just a little dab of glue. You don't need a lot of glue. You don't want it smearing all over the place, okay? You can see I just put little dabs there. Some people might put it on pretty heavy, and then it smears all over the place, and you just got to wipe it off anyway. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. Look at that. We got the base of our sled coming along real good here, but now I have to make that steering thing, okay? Now I think I have a piece of wood left over from all this that we're going to use to make the steering rod, okay? I'll go in and visit with the wife for a bit, though. Alright guys, what I want to do now is I want to work on this steering mechanism, okay? You know, all the sleds have that thing you put your feet on, you kick on it, it makes it steer a little bit. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this quart can, and I'm just going to lay it, okay, right on the steering mechanism. I'm going to go about halfway up with my quart can, as you can see, right about here, and I'm just going to draw a shape around it, just like that, okay? Then I'm going to take my tennis ball thing here, and I'm going to draw a radius, if you can see this. I want to draw a radius on the outside edge of it, okay? Can you see that? So I'm just going to bring it up there, just like that. And then I'm going to blend this in right here, just radius it around like that. Okay, you can see it's going to be kind of like that. Okay, can you see that on there? I hope so. Okay, I'm going to go over to bandsaw. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm just going to take the piece I cut off, flip it over, and use it for a pattern on this side. That's a lot of talking. I'm sorry about that. Okay, now that we got this side cut out, as you can see, we're going to take the cutoff from that piece, which is right here, and we're just going to set this on the opposite side. Just set it on there, and now you can trace it out, and it'll look the same as the other side once you cut it out. There we go, we're tracing it out. There you go, just like that, okay? Now I'm going to go cut that out on the bandsaw. You don't have to watch me do that. Okay, we got it all cut out now. It looks pretty cool, I'll admit. All right, now I'm going to take it over to this bench over here, and I'm going to soften up all the edges again with this sander. Now you guys have watched me do that. You don't need to watch me do it again, all right? So we got it all sanded down now. It's all softened up or rounded over, whatever feels good. And I measured up from here to here and here to here 5.5 inches. And I'm just going to set it on there and eye it up so it looks good. Like I said, you don't have to be measuring a bunch of stuff out, just eye it up. Okay? I'm going to put a couple dabs of glue here. Again, don't get crazy, just a little bit. And I'm going to use my brad gun again. And we are going to use the nail gun. All right. I think that's good right there. Let's put 2 in. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. Now, before I paint this red, I'm going to drill my holes in here, and I'm going to sand down the burrs before I paint it. And I'm going to put 3/8 holes in here, because my rope is 1/4 inch and I don't want to be fighting putting it through or anything. All right, I got my 3/8 brad point, one of my favorite drills because it doesn't really chew up the edges or anything, if you can see that. Okay, I'm just going to eye it up right in the middle and go ahead and drill the hole. Okay, there we are. Now, I put this underneath so it doesn't chew up the other edge of the hole. So you can see there, the other edge is not chewed up at all because I had this backer board on it, okay? All right, I'm just going to take the sander on this a little bit, and then I'm going to head over to the painting bench, all right? All right, this is kind of the fun part of the project. And what I'm using is, right here, Rust-Oleum Apple Red Satin, okay? It really covers good, too. Just one coat so far. I'll probably put 2 coats on it. I'll come out here tomorrow morning before I go to work. Put another coat on it. Don't put it on so heavy that it runs, okay? Just go a little bit at a time. See that? Covers pretty good. Alright, I'm going to finish painting it, and then I'm heading in for the night. Alright, the sleigh's coming really nice. I got 2 coats of paint on it, alright? I've got my 1/2-inch plywood here, and that's what I'm going to make the top of the sled with. So let me figure out what I'm going to rip these at on the table saw, and I'll get back. So I've decided to cut them at 2 inches. So I'm going to rip this piece of plywood here. I'm going to rip it in 2 lengths at 2 inches. And then I'm going to figure out my lengths from there. Okay, now that I got it ripped at 2 inches, I want to figure out how long to make the middle one. So the middle one, I'm going to bring it up so it almost touches that. And I'm going to go back, say, let's go 25 inches, okay? So I'm going to take it over to the radial arm, and I'm going to cut that off at 25 inches. Okay, with the 25-inch one cut, I think the next one, I might go 1 inch shorter, so I'm going to go 24 inches. I'm going to keep it the same back here, but kind of pyramid it down up here in the front. So let's try 24 inches. I think 24 looks good. So the next one, what do you guys think, 23 inches? Yeah, let's do 23, okay? We're going to cut 2 of them at 23, 1 for each side. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now what I really want these to be inside the red frame, so it's kind of gives it like a framing. If you put it to the edge, you're really not going to see any of the red. If I move it over here, you can see that, and it kind of gives it a little more red. I think that looks good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find anything that's close to 2 inches, such as this little torch thing I got. Whatever you can find works. I'm going to just lay it on here. I'm just going to trace that out, just like that. I'm going to do the same on the back end. Now you can use your saber saw to cut this out, but I think I'm just going to take it over on my belt sander, and I'm going to sand those little radiuses down, okay? Let's see how it works. It worked pretty good. Looks good. All the way around. I'm going to do the other ones the same way, and then we'll get back. All right, I think this is looking pretty cool. All right, we got them all set up here now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this sander here with some 120 paper on it. I'm going to sand these all down, both sides and the edges. Not only that, I'm going to round these edges over and give it like some wear, you know, round these edges over like the sled has been used for a while. All right, let me get over to the other bench and do some sanding on these. Well, we got them all sanded down. I laid them on here. I just eyed them up, okay? I'm not going to be all OCD and measure all these spaces and everything. This is an old-fashioned sled kind of thing, okay? I hope you all agree with me. But I'm going to pull this one off, start in the middle. I'm going to put a little glue right in the middle. Again, not a whole lot because I don't want it oozing all over. You can see that, right? It's just a little bit right there, okay? I'm going to put this back on there. And just squish it around a little bit. Oh yeah, ooze it around. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right. So we got that there. It's staying in place. I'm going to use my 1¼ brads. Same thing we used before. Okay, we got the brad nailer. All right. I'm going to put 2 in each one. Oh, that kind of moved a little. I'm going to straighten that out. Okay, that's cool. Good. And perfect. All right, now I'm going to do the rest of them the same way, and I'll show you what I got. All right, guys, I think this looks pretty damn cool so far. What do you think? I think so, yeah. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little piece of sandpaper and scuff these edges up just a little bit around here to make it look a little bit wore. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to do it, okay? And then I'm going to be putting some spray lacquer type stuff on here. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. Let's see if you can see this. Just a little bit. There you go. You can see right where your foot would go, okay? Try and get my finger right in here, okay? A little bit in here. Just a little bit like that around the edges is all it's going to take. Okay, here's what I'm using right here, okay? Satin clear, Rust-Oleum. It's for wood and metal, plastic, and more, it says. Okay, I got this from, where did I get this? Menards, okay? I'm going to give it a light coat. Then I'm going to flip it over, do the other side. I'm not getting crazy with it, and I'm only giving it 1 coat. Then I'm going to, when I get done, I'm going to walk the dog, let it dry, and then we'll put the rope on, okay? All right, I'll get back with you. Okay, let's see how that turns out. I'm not going to lie to you. I touched the red, and it actually came off of my hand a little bit, and it was dry. So I'm hoping that this spray overcoat doesn't make the paint tacky. But we'll let you know in a few minutes. I'm going to go walk the dog now. I'll be back in about an hour. So this project's wrapping up. Now, it was fun, I got to say. This rope, hemp rope, was... I believe it was 1/4-inch hemp rope, and I got it from Menards. Now I'm going to put it through them holes I drilled. Okay, and I'm going to tie a knot. Just like that. Okay, you see how it is? And then I'm going to just let it hang down like this. I'm not going to measure anything. Bring it back over. I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to put a knot on the other side. The same way. Just stick it through that hole. Tie a knot. And then I'm going to put a little hook on here to hang some kind of Christmas decoration on it. So I'll get back with you in that in a minute. So what I'm going to use to hang my Christmas wreath or whatever I want on there is one of these. It's a picture hanging thing, if you can see that. Now you can get these in a package at 10 or 20 or whatever at Lowe's or any big box store like that. Just take it, pound it in. I might have a little difficulty pounding it in there. I hope not. Just gonna put it on there. Now I'm going to get my needle nose, hold it, and pound it in there a little better, but you don't need to see that on camera because I might swear a little bit. Okay, I did swear a couple times, but I did get it hammered in there. Okay, you can see how it's going to hang, okay? Alright. Alright, I think I'm finished. Looks pretty cool. I hope you all like it. I'm going to go inside, put the little decoration thing on there, and show you it in the house. Now, if you like this, please subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. These videos are going to help me out to retire, I hope. Okay, guys. Thank you. Okay, I like it. My wife approved it, too. It looks really good. I think we're going to keep this. What do you think? You guys like it? Please comment. Let me know, okay? I hope you build one. It was a fun project. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye-bye.